If there's one thing I learned from this movie, it's that you never eat anything green. Except for these M&Ms, right? They look pretty harmless. Oh yeah. They're great. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today is B-roll cinema day. I will be reviewing Troll 2. This movie was really hard to get through, and this film, it's no wonder why this film is notorious for being one of the worst movies ever made. It's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, to be completely honest, but even though it's really bad, it's entertaining. Just because of the bad acting, the bad script, the bad mannerisms by some of these characters. I mean, it's just so terrible. And it's famous for the one line of, "Oh my God!" Yeah, that. This movie starts off with this family. Now this family, they're called the Waits family. This family has such a cast of characters in their own right. You have little Joshua, who is the son. He sees his Grandpa Seth. Now, Grandpa Seth continues to visit him even after he had passed away 6 months prior. He has a sister named Holly who is dating this guy, and it's kind of serious, I guess. But the problem is he has his boys. Now he has to choose between her or his boys, quote unquote his friends. And then you have the dad, Michael Waits, who says everything he is thinking in his head. And I mean everything. There is this one scene in the movie where he sits down with Joshua. Joshua just, did something pretty bad, and he's disciplining him. Now what he does is so off of the book and so ridiculously stupid that it makes absolutely zero sense. Check it out.
What are you going to do to me, Daddy?
Tighten my belt by one loop so I don't feel hunger pains. And your sister and mother will have to do likewise. Okay, Joshua, you want to get rough with me? You want to show me that you don't like the choice of this house for our vacation by going on a hunger strike? Well, I'll accept the challenge. But just remember, when I was your age, I really did suffer from hunger. We'll see who gets through this. But just remember, I've got more practice than you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Great acting, am I right? What parent in their right mind has ever done that? I've never been reprimanded and then my parent was like, "Oh, so that's fine. Well, you can starve. I'm going to starve too. We'll see who wins. Just so you know, I was hungry." Okay. Okay, yeah, just say everything you mean. And he does it constantly throughout the film. There's so many instances where this happens. And then the mother, she is just, yeah, she's special. In this one scene, they're in the car, and the mother wants Joshua to sing. Now the family is traveling to this place called Nilbog, which is also goblin spelled backwards. Ha, ha, amazing. What great script writing. So they go to Nilbog, and as they're on their journey, the mother wants Joshua to sing a song. She's like, "Sing that song that I like, Joshua." But it's not any, normal song that somebody would normally sing on a road trip. This is the song they start singing.
Just sing. Row, row, row your boat gently down a stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Yeah, nothing like a good row, 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 row your boat gently down the stream on a road trip. And it's even worse when the family doesn't even know the proper words to the easiest song that you learn when you're 3 years old. You don't even know the words to row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. This movie is so wacky. It's so bizarre. It is terribly bad. Watching this film, it felt like this movie was dragging. It felt like I was watching a movie for 5 hours long, and that's because of how boring this movie is, how bad it is. But because it's so bad, and because at times it's so boring, it's entertaining. I couldn't believe that I was actually having kind of a fun time watching this movie, because it's so hilariously bad. It's so bad. Now, there's some moments in this film where I don't know if this film is necessarily a horror movie or if it's just like some weird, wacky sci-fi movie, because there are chase sequences in this film. For example, there's this one sequence where this woman is running, and this character Arnold, who is famous for saying, "Oh my God!" Yeah, him. he is trying to track her down and follow her and help her with the problem that she's having. Now, the funniest thing about this is during this entire chase sequence, the music isn't even creepy or anything. It's like music you'd hear at some type of ballet recital. It's like this weird combination of like modern music and also like kind of like a little folky. It's like video game music, to be honest. I heard the same music on the Wii when I was playing Super Smash. And that's just how bad this movie is, and it does that so many times in the film. I cannot believe that somebody actually made this movie and it got greenlit. The whole point of this movie is that in Nilbog there are these trolls. Okay, so the Waits family, they go to exchange their house with the house of this family in Nilbog. What? Has anybody ever exchanged houses? This isn't like that show Wife Swap or whatever it was. I mean, this is what? I'm so confused by some of these things. But anyway, so the family, they have to go and they have to stay in this farmhouse where, guess what? Everybody there they're goblins. And it's crazy because in sequences of this film, it's a small town, which you would think, there's going to be hundreds of people there. There's literally like 15 to 20 people. And all the goblins, yeah, they're the exact same people. Like, every single goblin looks exactly the same in this movie, except for one. There is this one goblin they always put focus on, and it looks like a very stupid goblin. I mean, it has the dumbest face. This goblin just looks so bad and so out of place, and yet it's always at the center of everything. It's just, they always focus in on these three goblins in particular, and I think it's just because of the budget. They didn't have a big enough budget to get more extra people or maybe even extra masks to kind of have a variety of goblins. So the goblins, their whole goal is to make the family eat food that has green frosting on it. I'm not kidding. This is actually in the movie. And so the family has to eat this food. If they eat it, then it's great for the goblins because the humans will turn into vegetables that they can eat because they don't eat meat. This movie's confusing. It's bizarre and wacky, and it has no reason to even exist. And there are so many just random sequences. There's a sequence where the sister Holly just randomly dances. I mean, what is up with this? What is up with this movie? I don't know why this was greenlit, okay? I don't know why everything has to be green. Why are you so obsessed with green? There's people sweating green juice. You have these people drinking nothing but green juice and eating, bread with like green liquid cream stuff in the middle of it. And then you have this milk.
Here's some no-bog milk. Special milk here is free.
Which is like sour milk. It's been out for like a month. And so Holly, her boyfriend and his friends, they travel to Nilbog. For what point? I don't know. What purpose? I have no idea. Now, what I love about her boyfriend is her boyfriend has some of the most ridiculous faces in this movie. I mean, there are sequences where he literally just looks like he was taking a poop, okay? And they filmed him while he was pooping. The acting in this movie is atrocious. Then you have this one scene towards the end where the goblins have decided, because they can turn into humans. That's another thing I didn't tell you. They can turn into humans magically. And so they're throwing this big party feast for the Waits. Right after Joshua, the son, had ran into these goblins and they were trying to force him to eat this ice cream so that way they can eat him. And the father saw them do it and he stopped them, and then all of a sudden he's so forgiving and he stops believing his son. And then he allows this party to happen and he is in the middle of it. There's a lot of food with, again, green stuff on it. And one of the best lines in the movie. This line, when I heard it, I stopped for a second. I paused the movie and I was like, is this real? Is this really in the movie? Why? Who in their right mind would think that this would be a good line to drop? So Elliot, the boyfriend of Holly, he and his friends go to Nilbog, and he picks Holly over his friends. She gives him an ultimatum, and so he goes and joins the family, which is so random because the dad comes, he sees him, and the dad's like, that guy's a douchebag, I don't like him at all, he's a terrible person. Then all of a sudden he's like, come on Holly, let's go. And then Joshua's like, wait, I want to talk to you in private. And then the dad, Mr. Waits, goes, well, you can come, Elliot, but you gotta choose us over your friends. And he goes with the Waits. But that's not the bad line. That's just leading up to the bad line. So the bad line is the mother sees Elliot and she goes, oh, Elliot, what are you doing here? And the daughter, oh my gosh, Holly goes, oh, Mom, he's part of the family now. And then the mother goes, oh, Elliot. This script was written by 5-year-olds. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The son, Joshua, tells them that they can't eat any of the food because they're monsters and they're goblins and they're trying to turn them into vegetables so they can eat them. And so the father gets mad once again, as usual in this movie. The dad is such an idiot. He's so stupid. And decides to punish Joshua, tells him to go up to his room. Joshua leaves. And then literally for 5 minutes straight in this entire movie, the goblins are like slowly, for 5 minutes somehow, they're slowly walking a plate of food over to the family. I mean, it takes 5 minutes. Nothing even happens. There's no bite or anything. I mean, you see the family holding on to cups and, you know, the dad's holding onto a plate of food. And it's like 5 minutes. Does it take that long to walk over a plate from one side of the room to the other? And all of the other goblins, you know, they cleared the way. What is this? There is no logic to that. So anyway, Joshua needs to find his grandpa. His grandpa tries to help him. Here comes the priest, which, by the way, is a goblin. He stops Joshua from killing all of the goblins, and because of that, the grandpa uses lightning somehow, like he's God, and just electrocutes the goblin, and then that goblin dies. This is real. I watched this, okay? This is not in my head. I watched this freaking movie. And the ending to this movie is the most on-the-nose ending ever. You see it coming a mile away, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This movie defines everything that a B-movie is. Terrible acting, terrible special effects, atrocious writing. Everything about this movie is just bad. Directing is bad. It seemed like any Joe Schmo could go in and just, you know, get on set and say, hey, I'm an actor. Okay. Read the line for the dad. I think, even though I'm not a filmmaker, I feel like I can make a film that's at least like a 3 out of 10, which would be better than what this movie is. This movie, it's so terrible. It's entertaining because of how bad and how atrocious the writing is. But it's entertaining because dumb lines, the way that the characters react to certain things, the whole concept behind the green food, and eating the green food will turn you into a vegetable. I mean, I think I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Not from this movie. This movie's not scary at all. I think it's a horror movie. I don't even know what it is. But I'm gonna have nightmares just of how bad this movie is. Like, once you see this movie, you can never unsee it. If you're looking for a movie that has random dance scenes, has atrocious dialogue, and it also has really bad parents, I guess you could say, like things that parents would never do, you should definitely check out Troll 2. This movie is something. Anyway guys, this was my review of Troll 2, a cinema B-roll style review. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new. Make sure you also comment down below in the comment section your thoughts on Troll 2. Also, what other B movies would you like me to review? I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. I don't feel good. I shouldn't have eaten those M&Ms.